The costs for energy, in a lot of cases, kind of cripple economies. They cripple life in villages around Alaska because the cost is even higher in those areas than it is in Fairbanks. It's stifling our economic development, and it's holding us back. There's no reason for that. There's no reason whatsoever for that. There are opportunities. There are better ways to do this. The technology is here. We just need to take advantage of it.
But it's not easy. People, to tell somebody they need $1 million to build their building, they many times go ashen because they have no idea that it costs that much to build a building. And so they end up saying, I want the cheapest thing possible, and that is frequently not the most energy efficient thing possible.
What we're seeing is the introduction of products that may or may not work well in Alaska, products that are both developed here and building techniques that are developed here and built elsewhere. We really need to look at them carefully. We also have to really understand that something that would work in interior Alaska may not work in Ketchikan.
I think the biggest obstacle is that people don't know these products exist. So I've got to be able to get out there and promote the products, show people what they are, and show them how they can benefit by having them in their homes or buildings, commercial buildings.
To a customer out in Prince William Sound who's running a generator 24/7, we can reduce your generator runtime by 50% and have it pay for itself in 2 years. So education is a big part of that, and financing was a huge aspect, but it's so much more mainstream now than it was 10 years ago, and it adds value to your property, which a lot of people don't realize that.
Efficiency and the future of our community, our state, is really what we do, and it takes all of you. So
It takes a lot of fuel saving, but, so this is the big point, to get out of construction is expensive.
I see the air source heat pumps as being a really low-cost way to produce heat for buildings when you have inexpensive electricity.
I've seen a dramatic reduction for all my clients over an 8-year period of roughly 30 to 35% in the consumption of heating in their homes. And basically due to good air sealing techniques, to better insulation in crawl spaces, attics, and new heating and hot water systems. So first thing first, reduction of the losses, and secondly, going to high efficiency systems.
I would say that most of our off-grid customers that have historically just gotten used to running a generator 24/7, paying $2,000 to $3,000 a month in fuel costs because it's just never saw it as any other way. Even if they didn't add a solar and wind turbine to their system, by adding batteries, you can reduce your cost of energy, reduce that fuel cost by 50%.
This product has been very successful and has offered the highest rate of payback for the customers that use that product. One of our customers, Pioneer Wells, here locally, which distributes water in the local community, they have 2 separate buildings right now that are heated with wood pellets. Both of those buildings, the owner represents right around a 60% cost savings for their heating costs of those buildings over the last 6 years since they've been using our product. So that's equated to greater than $75,000 per building that they've been saving. That's a huge selling point for our products, and a great way to represent the opportunities that wood pellets offer commercial and industrial users.
The one that immediately comes to mind, because it's very recent, is the Reddington Junior and Senior High School in Wasilla, Alaska. That was recently awarded a LEED Gold certification, and RSA was on the team to help accomplish that. So for that one, energy modeling was big for LEED projects. That's always a significant portion, but also involved with lighting, the heating plant design, the ventilation design, so being able to recapture heat before it leaves the building for ventilation.
Tailored, state-of-the-art heating systems for people, whether it be, like I said, on the grid, off the grid, whether you want to integrate solar thermal, photovoltaics. We have systems that can integrate into all those and basically save them the most amount of money.
We're usually invited into buildings when they have failed their occupants in some way, whether it's air quality or temperature or mold. and we've seen how buildings fail. No matter who designed them or who built them, whether they were built properly or not. And that level of expertise has given us the ability to look at new designs and help designers build better buildings. And that knowledge is going underutilized in the marketplace, and it's something that we'd like to offer to design firms if they're willing to take it, but we also now realize that through the commissioning process, we can offer that service directly to building owners when they're having a new building built, or when they're going through a renovation of an existing building, or if they're just concerned about how their building's operating.
So we were really lucky to be able to help a client save thousands of dollars in tax. What happened is they had installed some solar panels and did not know about the credits and deductions that were available for them. And so once we found out about that, we were able to get their tax returns amended, get those credits in place, and they got a large refund coming back to them.
I think people need to know that they have a research center here. All Alaskans have a research center that they should be very, very proud of. We are housed in what's considered to be the most energy efficient commercial building in the world here. We don't use any fossil fuels to heat this building in one of the coldest cities in Alaska. That everything that we do is available for free to the people of Alaska. If they're remodeling their home, if they've got a problem with moisture or their foundations or anything having to do with probably the biggest investment most folks will ever make, and they have a question or a problem, we're here for them.
And so we did several projects with the National Park Service. The one that's most dear to me is Bettles, Alaska. We rebuilt, replaced. Their building burned down. And so we built them a brand new visitor center in Bettles. Hardly few people in the world will ever go to Bettles to see this place. And it doesn't look special necessarily, but it's well insulated. It's well integrated. It's got solar panels too, because they got 50-cent electricity in Bettles. It's got a masonry stove. It's got a very efficient boiler. It's got very efficient lighting. Now this was 10 years ago technology, but it was the right thing. It was working with the right client who wanted to do it the right way. It was trying and had a budget to support building a very successful project.
We want to improve the affordability of homes for Alaskans and indeed people in the circumpolar world. We want to improve the health aspects of those homes so that the environment that people are living in is healthy for them long term. And we want to reduce energy.
So it's evolving, but we already have a lot of opportunities to lower our costs, and that's huge for any business. It's right off of your profits, your net profits. You have to subtract the cost of your operation, and energy is typically number one for a business and their expenses. So if you want to cut your expenses to 10%, take a look at some of the opportunities.